Namaste students, Khusro Video, IJB and Dr. Naren Singh Shekhawat, Assistant Professor, Department of Salas Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Manson Street, Jaipur. In previous classes, we discussed about disorders of kidney, like force of kidney and anatomy of kidney. Now, in today's class, we will discuss and hematuria. And today's class, we will discuss about injury to the kidney. Renal trauma causing extensive laceration, patient underwent nephrectomy. Commonly, it is due to a blunt injury. Often, it is associated with other abdominal injury of liver, spleen, bowel, mesentery, etc. First, renal injury is extraperitoneal. Types: small subscapular, large subscapular, cortical lacerations. Laceration with perinephric hematoma. Medullary laceration with bleeding into the renal pelvis. Corticomedullary complete rupture. Hilar injury, most dangerous. As you can see in this diagram, in types of injury, grading of renal injury, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, as you can see. Clinical features of strokes mentioned. Hematuria may be mild to profuse depending on the types of injury. Throat colic, bruising, swelling and tenderness in the loin. Paralytic ileus with abdominal distension occurs due to retroperitoneal hematoma implicating splenic nerve. Investigation: IBU, ultrasonography of abdomen, blood urea and serum amylase should be repeated at regular intervals. Blood groupage and cross matching for blood transfusion. Emergency CT scan is very useful. Treatment: initially always conservative. Catheterize and wash the urine color and output. Blood transfusion: strict observation with regular monitoring of pulse, BP, temperature. Ultrasound follow-up daily. Sedation and analgesic antibiotics. 75% of 75% of patients respond to conservative management while treating conservatively. The regular monitoring of blood, urea, and serum creatinine is a must. If the patient goes in for renal failure, hemodialysis should be done for 6 to 8 weeks. Meanwhile, other kidney starts functioning again and patient recover without any further problems. Indication for surgical intervention: when there are signs of progressive blood loss with the condition of the patient deteriorating. Formation of progressive perinephric hematoma: when there are associated other injuries, killer injuries. Surgery options: gentle suturing of the laceration. Often kidney is fragile. This is not well possible. Then nephrectomy is done. When the injury is in the bowel, partial nephrectomy is done. In hilar injury and severe laceration, nephrectomy is the only choice. As you can see in the condition and indication and the treatment. Conservative only bruise and mentioned conservative treatment. Breach in calyx system, rupture of one of the small branches of renal artery, considered nephrectomy, rupture of pelvic calycal system, renal substance nephrectomy. Complications: clot, retention in the bladder and may go for the renal failure. Infection, perinephric abscess, aneurysm of the renal artery, renal failure. Hypertension occurs 3 months later. So students, this is all about the injury to the kidney. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. I hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any doubts and queries, please answer in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you, students. Namaste, students. I, JV and Dr. Naren Singh Shekhawat, फैकल्टी ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ शल्यतंत्र, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंस, ज्योति विद्यापीठ वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी। Today we'll discuss about anatomy of thorax or chest. In human thorax there are many structures like chest wall, lungs, mediastinum, etc. Now discuss about chest wall. So the thorax is upper part of trunk, bounded by 12 ribs, vertebra, and sternum. It contains trachea, lungs, heart, and great vessels, esophagus, and lymph nodes. There are two thoracic aperture of opening, superior thoracic aperture, also called as thoracic inlet, and inferior thoracic aperture. Head and neck and upper limbs communicate with the thoracic cavity through thoracic inlet, and it is bounded by body of first thoracic vertebra behind. Inferior thoracic aperture opens into peritoneal cavity. Clear? Now there is two opening in thorax. Upper opening is superior aperture or thoracic inlet, and second one is inferior aperture or peritoneal aperture. Clear? Chest wall skeleton. The bony framework is now chest wall skeleton. The bony framework is bounded by 12 thoracic vertebra posteriorly, from which 12 set of bony ribs articulate and curve around, connecting with manubrium, sternum, and costal cartilage anteriorly. The central anterior chest is defined by the sternum, which consists of three separate bones: manubrium first, then sternal body, and then Gifford process. मतलब स्टर्नम जो सेंट्रल एंटीरियर चेस्ट में सेंट्रल पार्ट है उसको स्टर्नम बोलते हैं। इसके तीन पार्ट हैं, फर्स्ट मेनुब्रियम, सेकंड स्टर्नल बॉडी, एंड थर्ड लास्ट वन इज Gifford process. The manubrium is located at the level of T3 thoracic, थर्ड नंबर thoracic vertebra के लेवल पे manubrium sternum होता है, and T4, T3 और T4, and is widest and thickest of three sternal bones. The sternomanubrial junction, sternomanubrial junction, जिसको अपन एंगल ऑफ लुईस बोलते हैं, is projected here. The body of sternum is located at the level of T5 से T9 12 vertebra. जो सेकंड पार्ट है स्टर्नम का, जिसको स्टर्नम बॉडी बोलते हैं, वो T5 से लेकर T9 वर्टिब्रा तक होता है। Gifford process is the smallest and thinnest bone. It is often has a point. It can be blunt, bifid, or curved. Gifford cartilage. Chest wall. The first 7 ribs, called true ribs, are attached to the sternum and manubrium directly. Next, 8th, 9th, and 10th ribs, called false ribs, are attached via costal cartilage, while the 11th and 12th ribs remain unattached anteriorly. जो 1 से 1 to 7 रिब्स होती है वो डायरेक्ट अटैच होती है स्टर्नम से, और जो 8वीं और 9वीं और 10वें नंबर की जो रिब्स होती है वो अटैच होती है कोस्टल कार्टिलेज के थ्रू स्टर्नम से। वो डायरेक्ट अटैच नहीं होती है, वो कोस्टल कार्टिलेज के थ्रू अटैच होती है। और 11th और 12th जो रिब्स होती है वो रिमेन अनअटैच्ड एंटीरियरली, एंटीरियरली वो अनअटैच्ड होती है, इसलिए उनको फ्लोटिंग रिब्स बोलते हैं। ठीक है। Posteriorly, the ribs articulate with costal facet of the two adjacent vertebra. जो दो वर्टिब्रा के जो एडजेसेंट फेसेट होते हैं उनसे अटैच होती है, ऊपर वाली और नीचे वाली। यहाँ ऐसे जाके रिब्स जाके आर्टिकुलेट होती है ऊपर वाली रिब्स से, और नीचे वाली वर्टिब्रा दोनों रिब्स के दोनों वर्टिब्रा के बीच में जाके ये अटैच होती है रिब्स। ठीक है। Each ribs also articulate with the transverse process its adjacent vertebra through a costo-transverse joint. The bony ribs then curve around anteriorly, where the next major junction is a costochondral junction, means जो बोन से और कोस्टल कार्टिलेज से अटैच होती है। चेस्ट वॉल बोन्स क्या क्या होती हैं? 1 से लेके 7 तक जो रिब्स होते हैं उनको ट्रू रिब्स बोलते हैं, जिनको वर्टिब्रो स्टर्नल रिब्स भी बोलते हैं। 8th 9th और 10th रिब्स होती है उनको वर्टिब्रो कोंडल रिब्स बोलते हैं। 11th और 12th रिब्स होती है उसको फ्लोटिंग रिब्स बोलते हैं। चेस्ट वॉल के चेस्ट वॉल में जो मसल्स होती है, अब उनको डिस्कस अबाउट मसल्स ऑफ चेस्ट वॉल। जो चेस्ट वॉल होती है उसमें कौन कौन सी मसल्स होती है उनको अपन अब डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है। तो मसल्स होती है इंटरकोस्टल मसल्स, पेक्टोरलिस मेजर और पेक्टोरलिस माइनर मसल्स, सेरेटस एंटीरियर मसल्स, रेक्टस एब्डोमिनस मसल्स, एक्सटर्नल external or internal oblique muscles, transverse thoracic and transverse abdominal muscles. These are the muscles of chest wall. This one is pectoralis major and pectoralis minor muscles. There is serratus anterior muscles. This one is the rectus abdominis muscles. Clear? Now, pleura. Pleura, it is called layer of lungs. Pleura. The pleural, there are two types of pleura. Visceral pleura, outer layer is parietal pleura and inner layer is visceral pleura. Clear? Between these two pleura, space is called pleural cavity or pleural space. So, अपन पढ़ते हैं. The pleural cavity is the potential space between the two pleura, visceral और parietal of the lungs. जो lungs के जो दो layers होती हैं, इसको visceral और parietal उसके बीच के space को अपन pleural space कहते हैं. The pleura is serous membrane which folds back into itself to form a two-layer membrane structure. The thin space between the two pleural layers is known as the pleural cavity and normal contains a small amount of pleural fluid. The outer pleura means parietal pleura is attached to the chest wall. The inner pleura, visceral pleura, covers the lungs and adjoining structures like blood vessels, bronchi, and nerves. The parietal pleura is highly sensitive to pain, while the visceral pleura is not, due to its lack of sensory innervations. In humans, there is no anatomical connection between the left and right pleural cavities. Therefore, in case of pneumothorax, the outer lung will still function normally unless there is tension pneumothorax or bilateral pneumothorax, which may collapse the contralateral parenchyma, blood vessel, and bronchi. The pleural cavity with its associated pleura aids optimal functioning of the lungs during respiration. Clear? The pleural cavity also contains pleural fluid, which allow the pleura to slide effortlessly against each other during ventilation or respiration. Clear? Surface tension of the pleural fluid also leads to close apposition of lung surface with the chest wall. Clear? तो ये प्लूरा होती है जो होती है, उसको प्लूरल कैविटी होती है, विसर्ग अलग प्लूरा होता है। जो डायफ्राम के ऊपर की जो प्लूरा होती है, ये डायफ्राम है, इसके ऊपर की उसको डायफ्रामेटिक प्लूरा बोलते हैं, ठीक है। और जो मीडियस्टाइनम के आसपास वाली प्लूरा होती है उसको मीडियस्टाइनल प्लूरा बोलते हैं। These are the this pic is showing the all pleura of lungs. Now we will discuss about lungs. Two lungs, right and left lungs. Right lungs is bigger in size. Three lobes in right lungs, upper, middle, and lower lobes, and two lobes in left lung is upper and lower lobe. Clear? These are the segments of lungs. It's called bronchopulmonary segments. Total 18. In right lungs having 10 segments, and left lung have 8 bronchopulmonary segments. Clear? Now we will discuss about mediastinum. It is the space in thorax located between thoracic inlet superiorly, inferiorly by diaphragm, anteriorly by sternum, posteriorly by spine, and laterally by pleural space. Clear? Classically, it is divided into four components: superior, anterior, middle, and posterior. Clear? मीडिया स्टर्नम में क्लियरली देखा जाए तो जो दोनों लंग्स के बीच का स्पेस है जहाँ पे हार्ट सिचुएटेड होता है, उसको बोलते हैं अपन मीडिया स्टैनम। बाउंड्रीज ऑफ मीडिया स्टैनम, एंटीरियरली स्टर्नम होता है, पोस्टीरियरली वर्टिब्रल कॉलम होता है, सुपीरियरली थोरैसिक इनलेट होता है, इन्फीरियरली डायफ्राम होता है। क्लियर? Mediastinum is connected to neck and retroperitoneally, allowing spread of air and infection. Mediastinal contents of mediastinum: anterior superior mediastinum content thymus gland, aortic arch, superior vena cava, lymph nodes, parathyroid gland, ectopic ectopic thyroid tissue. Middle mediastinum contains pericardium, heart, great vessels, trachea bifurcation, main bronchi, phrenic nerves, hilar lymph nodes. And last one is posterior mediastinum contains esophagus, vagus nerve, sympathetic chain, thoracic duct, thoracic descending aorta, azygous vein, hemiazygous vein, paravertebral lymph node. These all the structures of mediastinum contains. Clear? This is the whole anatomy of chest, thorax, and all structures. Clear? Thank you, students.